it's me, Natalia Fickenworth, the founder of MilkHoneyAdvice, and I'm here with Alan Patrick, and he's a martial arts fighter. So can you tell us a little bit about your experience as a mixed martial arts fighter?
I started off with boxing, just two guys in a boxing ring with 16-ounce gloves, 12-minute rounds, and I got done with that and moved into mixed martial arts. They cover everything from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to Muay Thai. You got some guys that do karate. You're in a 8-sided octagon cage. You got 3-ounce gloves on, and you can fight standing, on the ground, however you want to do it. Punches, kicks, submissions, everything.
Okay. And why did you begin at the age of 8?
In Ireland, it's everybody boxes. It's a way of life in Ireland. There's not much to do there. So I started boxing. My whole family boxed, and I found out I'd get paid more money in America to come over here and fight. So I came over here when I turned 8. So I've been boxing since, I think I started when I was 6, just doing amateur boxing. Got to age 8, came to America, pursued that career, and then went on to be a Golden Glove.
Okay. And can you tell me a little bit about the violence in Ireland that goes on?
Ireland is a small little island, and we're part of the EU, and we have what's called the Northern Territory. It's the top right corner of Ireland. It's owned by England. So if you look at a map, you got Ireland, but the top right corner says British territory. So England still owns part of Ireland, and they've been in a civil war for the longest time trying to get Britain out of there. Britain won't leave. They're too big. They're a superpower. But we not only, like in America, you pay state taxes. In Ireland, you pay Irish taxes and British taxes, so you're double taxed.
Oh, that's not good.
It's expensive. So unless England gets out of Ireland, there's always going to be a war. So you got the IRA, which is like the Irish mafia. That's part of my family. They slowly just go and try to get England out, and it's always
Gonna always be
gun violence and just, it's really rough over there.
Okay. And can you tell me an experience that you had maybe in your childhood that motivated you to the person you are today?
So Ireland's a small knit community everywhere you go. It's all rolling farmlands and stuff, except for Dublin and big cities like that. I mean, you got your classic tourist traps, but where I grew up in Bray, which is the south side of Dublin, most of those people are farmers, everything like that. We work on the docks, we bare knuckle box for money, we do all kinds of stuff. But everybody knows everybody. If you go to the store and you buy whiskey, somebody knows you're throwing a party before you even get home. So, I mean, everybody knew it, but...
And hopefully they're invited.
Yes. Well, even if they're not, that's the good thing about Ireland is you don't send out invites. They just show up.
Oh, really?
And it's just a big, wide-open party. But everybody knew everybody. And what made me into the person I am today is we went to school, and then after school we went to the gym. Every day is like a religion. And we was at the school, got ready, got our stuff together, we walked to the gym. We're sitting at the gym. It was, at that time, it was a small gym, so there's about 16 of us in the gym, and we had this idea to go to Belfast. And we all packed up, went to Belfast to do a amateur mixed martial arts fight, and got there, and of the 16 people, counting myself, 4 of us made it home.
Oh.
Yeah, so we was in the middle of watching the mixed martial arts fight go down, and gun violence broke out right then and there, and people got shot, and only 4 of us made it home that day.
So sad. I'm so sorry. That is rough. It's rough.
It is. It is. A lot of people in America take for granted the liberties that they have, because where I'm from, like here, if a cop gets shot, it's on the news.
Yes.
It's a big deal. In Ireland, if a cop gets shot, it's Monday.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not.
Do you think there'll be a change in that in the future, maybe?
Well, we're trying to cut ties right now with the EU, and if that works, England will pull out of Ireland, and it will be solely Irish.
And that's what it's been wanted for years.
For a long, long time. Clear back to when St. Patrick was there. I mean, it's back in medieval times.
Wow. Okay. Right, and can you tell us a little bit about your, what you do?
Well, right now, I work at Mattress Firm. I'm the store manager. I'm the trainer for Mattress Firm. I'm the competition coach for Mattress Firm, so I go around and see what all the competitors have to offer. It's pretty much just to pay my taxes.
Gotcha.
Because I came to America with a trust fund. I still fight. I'm 30 years old, which is kind of old in the mixed martial arts game.
Okay.
Typically, it's a younger man's sport. Kids are starting now at 18 years old and fighting their way up to about 28, and then they retire. Because you're very prone to injury. I mean, there's been 7 deaths recorded in the UFC for just blows to the head. So I still fight. I train about 4 or 5 days a week, and then
Do you train other people as well?
I train other people. I train younger fighters that are trying to get into mixed martial arts. I stopped training with the boxing because I don't really like boxing all that much anymore. I train a lot of kids because kids are starting to get into like karate and stuff like that. So I teach like a self-defense class for kids, and I teach one for women as well.
Can you elaborate on what exactly mixed martial arts are?
So boxing is standing on your feet throwing punches. Kickboxing is standing on your feet throwing punches and kicks. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is fighting on the ground and everything else. Mixed martial arts is, the best way to describe it is you have knowledge of all the fighting styles. You're not proficient in just one. You can adequately do whatever task is set in front of you, fighting wise. So I did Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I've done Muay Thai, I've done boxing, I did American wrestling, I went to college for wrestling. I've done karate, I tried to get into judo a little bit. There's just so many that you can do that if you can get good, not great, just good at 3 or 4 of those, you're a mixed martial arts fighter.
Oh, okay.
And then for me, where I'm super heavyweight, I prefer to be the super heavyweight. Like I go to the gym, I eat 5,000 calories a day. I go to the gym, I lift, but then I eat whatever I want.
Right.
Because I have to be above 235 pounds.
Gotcha.
So as long as I'm above 235, I can fight from 235 pounds clear till 600.
Oh, wow.
So, but I'm very flexible, so a lot of people don't. With super heavyweight, they expect you to throw a big haymaker punch where you swing all the way around and hit somebody.
It's not the case.
No, because I'm really flexible, so I back up and I can kick you in the face. And they don't expect that coming from a bigger guy.
No.
So it gives me a little bit of advantage, and it's been very lucrative, and I've had a lot of success with it. As of last month, I am 33-4. I've won 33 fights and I've only lost 4.
That's good. Very good. And if you had to encourage another fighter to go into it, what would you recommend that fighter would choose as their martial arts mix?
It just depends. You got to play into your strengths. Like, I grew up in a rough neighborhood. I grew up really rough. When I came to America, I grew up on a farm. We were picking up hay bales and working on the farm. So, I mean, you get country strong.
Right.
And with martial arts, you can win a fight very easy by just controlling somebody's wrist. If you grab a hold of their wrist and you can hang on and not let go, you can win a fight.
Oh, wow.
So if you're really upper body strong, take people to the ground, fight them on the ground. If you're not very strong upper body, get ready to stand back, try to fight them hand to hand.
Gotcha.
Don't try to take them to the ground. If you're not flexible, don't really fight them on the ground, because you got to be able to twist your body into things. And if you're scared to get hit, the best thing to do is to go get hit. Just, my coach, whenever he trained me, we stood there and let him hit us, just so we could get that feeling. Because the first time you get hit, it scares you. You're like, oh,
right.
this isn't normal.
So you got programmed your body too.
You do,
okay.
and your mind, because everybody knows it's a fact. You get punched in the nose, your eyes swell up with tears.
Yes.
As a mixed martial arts fighter, that doesn't happen because you've been punched in the nose enough that you're just used to it.
Oh, okay. All right. And can you tell us a little bit about your family life? You're married, you have a child. Tell us a little bit about
I am married. I've been married for almost 6 years, right at 6 years. I just recently had a baby. I have a 1-year-old, she'll be 2 in April. That's affected fighting quite a bit. Everybody always said having a kid, getting married changes your life. I never believed that. I'm like, no, that's not true.
Right.
Not true. I got married, I was still doing mixed martial arts. I travel a lot to fight. So, because Florida, they're a little more strict on their fighting rules and stuff like that. So I travel from here to California. I've been to Rio, Brazil, just to fight. Now that I have a baby, I've been focusing more on mattress firm, because if I get hurt, what happens then?
Right.
You know, so
you have to prioritize.
And I'm older. I mean, I never thought that either. I'm like, all right, 30 years old, that's still young. You're still young. But when you do as much stuff that I've done, like I used to ride bulls, I've been in all these fights throughout the years, growing up in rough neighborhoods where you carry a gun on you all the time, it weighs on you. Now, like, you used to be able to punch me and I'd be like, okay, let's keep going. Now, it hurts.
No, it's okay.
Now it actually hurts. When I first started, it didn't hurt.
Right.
It was an adrenaline rush, like, oh.
Right.
But now, it actually hurts. Yeah. Your body slows down. You're more susceptible to injury. Stuff hurts a lot more now than what it did when I first started, for sure.
Right. And where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
If you'd asked me that last year, I'd say on the UFC, which is the big fight card in America. I signed up for that, tried to get into that. I'm too old. 5 years from now, I could see me back in Ireland, and I would own my own gym, and I would be coaching mixed martial arts as a coach.
That is a very good future for you.
Because I'm trying to get out of the fighting, because
and you think you can do that in 5 years?
Yeah, I could if I could just talk myself into it. The only person I've got to do it to is myself, because
motivate yourself to
because I'm so motivated to keep fighting to prove everybody wrong.
Okay.
But my last fight was 2 months ago. I won, but I was really beat up. I went to the hospital right after the fight. I had 3 broken bones and I couldn't see. My eyes were swelled up, but I still won the fight. But what made me realize that needs to be done, that was my past, now I need to focus more on coaching, is my daughter was like, Dad, and I couldn't see her. And I was like, well,
now I need to focus
more on being a father.
You got an amazing story to tell too. You can tell people and motivate others.
And then when people come over to take my daughter out on a date, I can just scare them.
There you go. You know what is it, that country song? It says,
I'll be here cleaning my gun. Yep, I don't need the gun.
You just need your hands.
Just gotta look at them, say, hey, 9 o'clock.
There you go.
I'm registered as a weapon in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need a gun. Have her back at 9.
That's good. There we go. Protective father.
Yeah.
All right. When are you gonna have an upcoming fight or not?
So my last fight, I won. It was a big payday, but it was, it's kind of like my going away fight. But I finished with so many wins that people want to fight me because it'll jumpstart your career.
Oh.
You know, so if a young kid, like 20 years old.
It's like beating a champion.
Yeah. So if you come in at 20 and beat me, he's going to be known as the guy that beat me. So I get a lot of fight offers, but when you get my age with my record, you get the luxury of picking your fights.
Oh,
I know, like boxing, everybody's like, oh, you pick the easy fight, you pick the easy fight for an easy win. I'm the opposite of that. I look for the guys that are undefeated, 20 plus wins, no losses. I want to fight that guy. So whenever the guy that I'm getting ready to fight, when he contacted me, he asked me if I'd fight him, and he was professional and proper with it. He's like, Mr. Patrick, I'd love the opportunity to fight you, which is unheard of in the fight game. Most people just talk trash back and forth, and I'm like, all right, I'll give you a shot. Everybody keeps telling me not to do it because this guy's from Brazil. He's a monster. This dude's he's a giant, and he's 432 pounds. He's a big old guy, and he's undefeated. He's had 27 wins, and 20 of those were by knockout. Set in stone that I gotta fight him. Give him his opportunity, just like I had mine. When I first started, it was who you fought, not who you knew. But everybody's on steroids now. It's a doping law with the UFC. They're supposed to stop it. UFC almost got shut down for steroid use, but everybody's on steroids. It's a well-known fact that almost every fighter nowadays has done steroids at some point in their life. We know when the drug test is coming. We know how to beat the drug test. So we all would take steroids and beat the drug test. But my last 5 fights, I've been steroid free. But this guy's open with steroids, so it'll be a interesting thing because the 3 months that we get to train, his will be like 6 months on steroids.
Which isn't fair.
Yeah, and it's a good opportunity because I don't take the easy fights. I want to take the hard fight where I can prove myself and prove that I'm still.
You still got it.
King of the hill.
There you go. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing with my viewers your story, and hopefully in the future when you open up your gym, I'll go to Ireland and maybe interview you.
Yeah, come to Ireland. We'll get you in the cage, get you some gloves on, teach you some stuff.
That'll be fun.
You can be a fighter.
Maybe.
Ronda Rousey, she's a fighter. Holly Holmes. Girls are starting to become new fighters on the scene because when I first started, no girls were allowed. It was like an all-boys club.
When I was younger, I wanted to join the army, so
yeah,
didn't work out.
You learn hand-to-hand combat doing that. So I mean, come over, we can teach you some things.
I have the characters, just the fighting part of it. All right, well, thank you so much.
No problem.
And hopefully the viewers and the people who want to be fighters, they can feel motivated by your story and say, oh, if he can, I should.